Street Fighter 6.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to
Go for it.
If you've never seen my stuff before, I've been playing fighting games for about a year now. It all started with me making a video about learning Guilty Gear Strive within a 24-hour period. I thought I would kind of fall off the game after those 24 hours, but I didn't. Strive is where I discovered just how fun this genre can be, and I've put around 150 hours into Strive and about 60 hours into Guilty Gear Plus R. And Street Fighter 6 had just started dropping trailers right when I started falling into that FGC rabbit hole. And this game looked sick. Flash forward about a year, Lil Wayne is given his glorious 4 seconds of screen time in the gameplay trailer, the full base roster of the game has been revealed, and so is the DLC for some reason. The game isn't even out yet. Whatever. Anyway. Day 1, I'm in my custom character. I didn't go super crazy with it. I basically just made a slightly deformed version of myself. You know, this is probably what I would look like if I was born in Chernobyl. I moved on to doing like one of the Cammy combo trials before getting distracted and hopping into the battle hub. Oh. Oh my god, you're like Lord Farquaad in a Final Fantasy game. Two of my good friends, Caden and Tristan, had picked up the game alongside me on day 1. Oh, and here's some Seth lore. Tristan was actually the guy who introduced me to Street Fighter 2 back in college. So we all hopped into our Battle Hub server, sat down at the cute little virtual cabinets, and just started mashing. No serious improvement to speak of happened here. It was just us learning what buttons did what. Despite that, we were having a blast with this game and played it well into the night even though we all had work the next morning. Day 2 I tried out arcade mode, which has some beautiful opening and closing cutscene art. Coming from Guilty Gear, I was kinda worried that other fighting game franchises wouldn't have as strong of an art direction, but Street Fighter 6 looks great, and all the digital art in arcade mode really shows that off. On top of that, once you complete an arcade mode run, you unlock a bunch of illustrations from previous games. And as someone who's new to Street Fighter, getting to look at all this art from previous iterations of these characters was really cool. Oh, you're curious about how I actually did in my first arcade run? Well...
I'll use force if I must.
So yeah, instead of breezing through arcade mode like I'd planned to do, I ended up just getting destroyed and doing the walk of shame back to the battle hub. Things started to click together a little more in my head in these day 2 matches with my friends. I did my anti-air on purpose a couple of times, I know, real gamer stuff, and I even teched a throw here or there, and I just let my brain get used to some of the system mechanics, especially drive impact. If you haven't played Street Fighter 6 yet, every character has a skip neutral and get in button called Drive Impact, or DI for short. This move can basically bully through any attack, and if you don't block it, well, you're getting whacked. Pretty hard. Even if you do manage to block it, but you're close to the corner, you're getting splatted against the wall, and then whacked. Pretty hard. That being said, there's a lot of ways to respond to an opponent using Drive Impact. You can jump over it, hit them 3 or more times to knock them out of it, super them out of it, grab them out of it, parry it, perfect parry it, or just press Drive Impact back. Whoever presses DI second will always win. And these are all just things we happened to discover through our first 2 days of playing. There's probably more I forgot to list. Could I have learned all that counterplay to DI from a YouTube video instead? Sure. Would it have stuck? No. I don't know about you all, but for me, if I learn something by actually doing it, the skill won't atrophy as quickly. I can learn through reading and listening as well as the next person, but it's so much more temporary that way. Like, I could enroll in an exercise science class and learn every possible thing there is to learn about a weighted deadlift that there is to know. But until I actually put my hands on that bar and try it, I don't actually know how to deadlift. This kind of thing comes up during fighting game streams a lot too. The streamer will get hit by a drive impact, and someone in chat will say something like, "Hey, you could have parried that." I'm sure they could have. Could you parry that?
No.
DI is a really scary move, and when you're just learning the game, you're gonna get hit by it a lot. Knowing all the counterplay options in your head is a very different thing from actually being able to apply them in a match. Day 3, I decided to try and grind out the Cammy combo trials, and I'm gonna be honest, kinda sucked. And it's not just because the training mode grid is butt ugly in this game. This game has so many gorgeous stages, and yet some players will still choose to play in this gray box with harsh fluorescent lighting. I just don't get it. It took me about 15 minutes to get through all the beginner trials, and I couldn't help but feel after it was over that I didn't actually learn anything useful. I would fail the trial a ton of times in a row, do it successfully once, and then get booted to the next trial before I can even process what happened. This felt like a really ineffective way of learning, because it was. I would actually recommend other new players to turn off auto advance when you're doing the combo trials. This lets you practice the combos at your own speed, only moving on to the next one when you feel you've mastered the one you're on, instead of just booting you to the next trial as soon as you get lucky one time. I got to around intermediate 2 before I hopped into the battle hub to play against my first stranger. See, I had just been running endless sets with my friends up until this point, since that's the best way to enjoy a fighting game, but I was curious what the other character matchups were like. And that curiosity was not satiated, because my first stranger set was with a Ken player. We ran a best of 5, he beat me all 5 games, but I took a round or 2 here or there, and every match I played his health bar got just a little smaller each time. I could feel myself starting to improve at the game a little more here, and it felt really good, but there was something nagging me in the back of my mind. Did I actually want to be a Cammy main? Day 4 was Decision Day. I had initially picked Cammy because she was the first Street Fighter character I tried back in the day. It wasn't just nostalgia or aesthetics that motivated the pick, but both were definitely a factor. I just wasn't fully vibing with Cammy's kit. There were aspects of her gameplay that I really liked, her normal attacks, her ability to punish projectiles, and her really quick walk speed. This wasn't just because of combo trials leaving a sour taste in my mouth. I know this because even if I successfully landed a combo in a match, I didn't feel that unique sense of satisfaction that I wanted. See, I usually like to develop a game plan by finding one super easy combo and then building off of it, but all of her bread and butter combos didn't feel fun to execute to me. On top of that, I felt like I was doing way less damage per turn than my friends' characters were. And since I didn't have the knowledge or skill to do her optimal combos, I felt like I was having to put in way more work to get a win with her. Don't get me wrong, I still like Cammy a lot. I'll always have that attachment of her being the first real fighting game character I ever controlled. But the spark just wasn't there for me. Cammy has more in-game tools and more personality in this game than any previous title, and she's genuinely a dangerous character in the right hands. Just not my hands. And I hope none of you watching this are just here for Cammy, because you can call me Nintendo the way I switch characters.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Soon after this realization, I started to look at the characters I'd never actually seen anyone play before, and that's when I stumbled across Kimberly. Kimberly is a ninja who does graffiti. As soon as I learned these facts, she became my main. Kim is hands down my favorite newcomer to Street Fighter 6. I love her costume design, especially costume 2. This should have just been her main costume. It's objectively better. I like how she's a ninja but wears the most saturated, least sneaky clothing I've ever seen. Like, imagine getting snuck up on by someone wearing cherry red Jinko jeans. I also felt like her attitude matched mine a little better as well. When you win around with Cammy, she's all like, "Mission accomplished," and strikes a dramatic combat pose. But when Kimberly wins a round, she's like, "Let's go, I won! I fucking did it, did anyone else see that shit?" Which was just so much more relatable to me. I made the decision to switch to Kimberly before I even knew what she played like. The prospect of playing a character that wasn't a government agent or a cop was just too tempting for me. What's with fighting game characters being cops anyway? There's like a surprising number of them that are, like around 40%, I want to say. Don't believe me? Look up 40% of cops. The first thing I did did to pick up Kim was going through her character guide. This is a great feature of Street Fighter 6, by the way. It's like Capcom saw the popularity of character guides on YouTube and went, why don't we just put that in our game? It basically breaks down each special and super you have, where and when you can use them, and then has you try doing them yourself. This gave me a much better understanding of her kit and her playstyle, and if you're new to the game, I can't recommend these in-game guides enough, they really do rock. Honestly, I wish I would've gone back through it a couple more times over the course of filming the video. I definitely didn't absorb all that info in one sitting. And after the guide, I wanted to test her out a little bit in arcade mode. I went in with a humble attitude this time, fully expecting to get my ass laid out by the CPU. Again, but Kimberly had other plans. Easy. Old main versus new main. Oof. Nice try. I'm already doing way better in arcade mode. This is my first time playing this character. I think that might be a sign. God, he's so cool. Bonk. Ooh. Let's go. Let's go! That did so much damage! Jesus! Did I just win arcade mode? That felt a lot easier. She's so fucking cool. Ah, I got sniped. Oh god, it's best of three, it's best of three, oh god. The swap over to Kimberly was obviously a really good choice. My only regret is not doing it sooner, but playtime was coming to an end. It was time for the real deal, something I know that will test my patience just as much as it tests my skill. Day 5 and almost every day after Day 5 is just a big ranked grind. See, I wanted the first 12 hours to be focused on learning through having fun with my friends, and the other 12 hours to be focused just on ranked mode. The first thing I had to do in ranked was my 10 placement matches. If you've seen my stuff before, you know that I don't have the best relationship with ranked modes in fighting games. It feels like whenever I play ranked, a switch gets flipped in my brain where I focus more on winning than I do learning. And I know in the logic part of my brain that ranked mode is the best way to improve the fastest. You get lots of matches in a row against players that are at or slightly above your current skill level. But that emotional part of my brain can't help but react when the number goes down. See, I can usually be an adult and push past that, but filming myself puts me under an extra layer of pressure. Losing a game and subsequently losing ranked points is whatever, off camera. But filming and broadcasting that L to all of you guys? I don't know, it does bad things to my brain. One thing that really helped out my ranked experience was this game's absolutely stellar netcode. It's the best netcode of any fighting game I've ever played so far. And I place a lot of importance on netcode and connection, since the place I'm currently living in has really terrible internet infrastructure. So I have to rely on the game's netcode for a good fighting game experience. So anytime you see weird connection stuff in the video, just assume it's me and not the game. One thing I really enjoy as well is the Wi-Fi or wired indicators. If you aren't familiar with fighting games, online play becomes much smoother when both players have a wired connection. Playing on Wi-Fi is generally frowned upon. I don't have the brain, time, or patience in order to explain exactly why that is, but in terms of fighting games, wired good, Wi-Fi bad. And Street Fighter 6 straight up tells you which connection your opponent is using, which makes dodging Wi-Fi warriors an absolute breeze. That being said, I've played plenty of sets with Wi-Fi players, and honestly, it's not too bad most of the time. This game also has crossplay, so you can play with your non-PC nerd friends, which is always a nice touch. Crossplay kind of ruined Guilty Gear Strive's netcode, so seeing it implemented so well here in Street Fighter was a real breath of fresh air. In fact, the whole process of just getting into a match is so fast and easy in this game. It puts everything else to shame. I did get matched up against a ton of Ken players, but Ken is the most popular character in the game, so it makes sense. Check out this one I made rage quit. Oh, he quits. After an excruciatingly painful bout with this Wi-Fi Warrior JP player, I ended up getting placed in Iron Rank. Damn it, why did I just sound like Tony the Tiger when I said that? Iron Rank is just above the lowest possible rank you can get in this game. And who knows, I may have placed a bit higher if two of my opponents hadn't rage quit on me mid-match. But the Iron Rank didn't feel undeserved to me. I had more holes in my game plan than Camp Green Lake. The next day I did a similar ranked grind, and I managed to get from Iron 3 to Iron 4. Once I got to Iron 4, I would win a game, and then lose a game, and then win a game, and that endless ranked cycle I'm sure you all are familiar with. And after trying to crawl upwards for a while, I could feel myself starting to get frustrated a bit, so I took a quick break from the game to play the game more with my wife. I thought it would be a fun, brief distraction for the video and for myself, but we ended up playing for like 2 hours. I set her up on modern controls. If you're unfamiliar, I'll summarize very quickly. Modern controls makes doing special and super moves really simple to execute at the cost of your moveset and 20% of your damage. And without any further ado, here's me beating my wife at Street Fighter. Do you want commentary?
No, they're gonna go, ew.
They're not gonna
They're
go
gonna go,
ew.
ew. Let's go to the beach. Beach? Beach? Where's Princess Peach? Her feet are fucking nasty.
Thank you.
They're fucking
you.
gross.
Not the only one.
They're so nasty.
I'm Manon.
Ugh, her feet are nasty too.
Feet are gross.
Ew.
Oh god. Ow.
Now it's getting serious,
Ow.
Buster.
Ow.
Ah. Ew.
Oh fuck. Yeah, that's just a win the game
I found
button.
it. Thank you.
Ah! Ah!
I grabbed.
Yeah, you're.
Whoop.
Fuck! I don't like this. I'm getting rolled.
Ah. Pew. He looks like you when you did parkour.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Oh, look
She's the shit.
She's like, you gonna get me?
Yeah, exactly. What's happening?
Woo.
You're fucking me up.
I'm a gamer.
Nice try.
No, but I'm. That's not fair. I'm just a woman. I'm just a girl.
We palm. I found one special move.
It's called sexism.
That's my special move. I just noticed one of his pant legs is
Yeah,
rolled
he
up
looks
and
like
one's
a
not.
you.
It's
I like how pretty this game is.
really nice looking, huh?
Yeah.
I've literally never played a charge character.
He's so Bart coded. Damn. The patriarchy wins again. God, he's disgusting.
What?
He's Bart. You done Barted all over the place.
He's not Bart.
He's Bart. Have you ever seen him and Bart in the same room? A real husband would let his wife win.
That's not
A
true.
real husband would punch his wife.
This is real feminism. I'm not gonna pretend to be bad at the game. After all was said and done, she said she preferred Street Fighter over Guilty Gear, and I can definitely see why. It's much slower paced and easier to translate for a non-fighting game player. Anyway, I hope you guys liked the video so far because, if I'm being honest, it's all downhill from here. Ooh, first Zangief. Shit. Oh, modern, okay. I gotta worry about one button SPD. Bullshit. I'm pissed. Actually mad. See, I'm usually team play whoever you want, but since Zangief is in the game, I might actually have to revise that opinion. Don't play whoever you want if you want to play this character. If you play a grappler, fuck you. The skill expression of a fucking monkey throwing their shit at the wall. Why am I fucking mad? Okay, I was too toxic and the game crashed. I think that's a sign. I think I need to take a break after one match. Fuck me. I hadn't gotten this mad at a fighting game since the first time I got into Strive all those months ago. Before I hopped into Ranked, I was trying out the Kimberly combo trials and was just as unsuccessful as I was with the Cammy combo trials, and I was already annoyed with that, and that frustration must have carried over into my Ranked games. So now I was not only struggling with bad execution, now I was dealing with bad mentality. Every time I thought about me getting punished with that one button command grab, I could feel this heat wave of pure anger from the base of my neck to the top of my head. I might have been blowing steam out of my ears at the time, I don't know. I hated that I lost that match. And instead of doing the smart thing and taking a break for a few days, I just kept playing. If you're new to the channel or fighting games, playing while you're angry is a really dumb idea. It almost always leads to more L's and, subsequently, more anger. And you wanna know what the worst part is? That didn't even happen. I got a cute little win streak and I managed to climb my way into bronze that same session, so I ended up getting rewarded for doing the wrong thing. But I was still so tilted from that Zangief game that the win streak didn't even feel good. After I hopped off for the day, guess which part of the session was on loop in my brain? My win streak? All those jump-ins I was able to punish? The big-ass Soviet dude that shattered my spine harder than Gorbachev shattered the USSR? Psst, it was the third one. The thing is though, I've been here before. I remember having to take a week-long break from Strive during the filming of that video because I was just getting way too pissed at losses. So I then did the correct thing and took a week-long break from all fighting games. When I came back, I was able to enjoy the game a lot more without getting tilted, but I still felt like I was stagnating. I didn't realize at the time that I was falling into that same trap of focusing on wins and league points instead of actually improving my game plan. Looking back at this footage now is honestly a bit embarrassing. I just keep making the same mistakes and not learning from them. It's easy in hindsight to see everything I was doing wrong. I was almost never reacting to drive impact. I was letting people jump all around the stage without punishing them, and I almost never used drive rush or drive parry, on top of using my sweep way too much. I started getting really upset that I wasn't progressing faster through the ranks, but I honestly didn't deserve to rank up at all. I was playing like garbage. I wasn't even using half of Kim's moveset, and the half of it I was using I would usually use at the wrong time. But I was still slowly learning and improving, even if I couldn't see it or feel it at the time. It's really hard to feel like you're improving when you're winning 2 matches and then losing 2 matches on repeat. I just wasn't playing as well as I thought I should be. I would think to myself, I'm at like 20 hours, shouldn't I be seeing more improvement at this point? But I know now that I was putting way too much pressure on myself to get wins for the video. and that was the primary cause of the salt. But still, after my break, I was able to keep my emotions in check even after some tough losses. But as that 24-hour deadline crept closer and closer, the pressure I was putting on myself just got heavier and heavier. Until I suddenly found myself playing the last match of the 24-hour challenge. Fuck me. The last game? A modern Zangief on a 2-win I'm killing myself. I've never been tempted to leave before a match even started until right now. I want nothing to do with this piece of shit. Fuck you. Yeah, why isn't the grappler grappling me back? Yeah, there it is, okay. This was the moment that I considered scrapping this entire video. I was still really upset that I had lost all my friends' Discord audio. My mic audio came through, but my friends didn't, so it was just me babbling like an insane person to myself over some muted gameplay footage. I just felt like the video wouldn't be funny or entertaining at all without that banter with my friends in it. I realized after all was said and done that I'd accidentally been playing on the same stage for like 10 hours of the footage, and that my game audio was absent in most of the recordings as well. On top of that, as soon as I started doing ranked, I just started turning into Darkside Phil, blaming my problems on the other person's character choice instead of blaming myself for using unsafe moves on them while they were blocking. I just really wanted the last half of this video to be a steady ranked climb, showing off all the small ways I was improving like in the Strive video. Instead, I couldn't even manage to crawl out of Bronze 3. I was stuck. Wins made me feel nothing, losses made me irrationally upset. And to top all of that off with getting pile drivered back into Bronze 2 on my last match, It put me in a terrible place mentally. I almost deleted all 24 hours of footage right there. I don't usually get that mad if I'm frustrated at something, especially in a video game, but there's multiple instances in this video of me getting so worked up that I start slamming the armrest of my chair with my fist. Hell, I legit got so mad that I uppercut my fucking microphone earlier in the video. And I usually have a much better handle on my emotions than that. I'm way too old to be punching shit because I lost in a video game. It's just childish and stupid. And I knew that even while my fist made contact with my mic stand. Now I wasn't only a loser in Street Fighter 6, I was being a loser in real life. Did I really want to broadcast this side of myself to the entire world? Wouldn't it make me a huge hypocrite to say in my other videos that ranked doesn't matter, and then go on to upload a video of me basically having a meltdown over losing some ranked points? Yes, it does. But as a wise man once said, sometimes a hypocrite is simply a man in the process of changing. The same day the 24 hours was complete, my Discord was doing a Street Fighter 6 tournament. I really considered DQing since I was in such a terrible mood, but then I started to reconsider. This could be my last chance at redeeming this shitty 24-hour challenge video. My only goal going into the tourney was to not go 0-2. I didn't care what else happened, I just needed to not go 0-2. Yeah. Uh-oh. I'm in danger. Uh-oh. I'm dead. Damn. Nope. I missed. No, I didn't! Let's go! I don't think that's killing though, is it? No way! Okay. We take those. my god, that was so close though. So I did end up losing my first tournament set, but I realized something afterwards. I wasn't upset at my loss, like even a little bit. I kept my head throughout the whole thing. If anything, I was really happy with how I played despite the loss. And at this point, I didn't even care if I went 0-2. I was finally seeing the results of those 24 hours of work. I had progressed, and after all that time feeling like I was just as much of a shitter as when I started, it really felt nice to see the progress. I am a much better player than I was 24 hours ago, and that's really all that mattered. My next tournament set was against a viewer who lives in Taiwan, so I wasn't expecting the greatest connection of all time, but I didn't really care. I just had a much better attitude about the whole thing going into it. And I think it made a difference in my play. Just watch.
Villain get the money like curls. They just trying to get a nut like squirrels in his mad world. Land of milk and honey with the swirls, where reckless naked girls get necklaces of pearls. Compliments of the town jeweler. Left back now, schooler, trying to sound cooler. On the microphone known as the crown ruler. Never lied to Ma when we said we found the moolah. $500-something laying right there in the street. Now let's try and get something to eat. Then he turned 4 and started flowing to the poor. That's about when he first started going raw. Kept the dro in the drawer. A rhyming klepto who couldn't go up in the store no more. His life is like a folklore legend. Why you're so stiff, you need to smoke more, brethren. Instead of trying to riff with the broke war veteran. Spliff made him swore he saw heaven, he was 7. Yup, you know it. Growing up too fast. Showing up to class with my wet in a flask. He asked the teacher if he leave, will he pass? His girl is home alone, he trying to get the... If you wanna sip, get a paper water fountain glass. How I'm supposed to know where your mouth been last? Hand so fast, he can outspin flash. Known to smoke a whole mountain of hash to the ash. Boom, bass, leave the room with the stash. Assume it's in a smash, doom, get the cash.
I cannot describe to you the big dumb grin I had on my face after I won that set. The tournament obviously hadn't ended at this point, but it had in my mind. I won. I met my goal of not going 0-2, and I even felt like I played competently on the matches I lost. Now that I had once again purged my brain of all of my whiny bitch tendencies, I could see that I really improved. Noticeably improved even. The tournament went on and I had a rematch against my first opponent, and it played out almost exactly the same. The set came right down to Game 3, last stock, no items on Final Destination. It was a close one, but he ended up winning that set in the end. So yeah, that's how good I got at Street Fighter 6 in 24 hours. GG's to everybody I played, both in the bracket and in friendlies. If you viewers enjoyed your time here somehow, go ahead and like and subscribe, or dislike it if you didn't. This is easily the longest video I've ever made, so let me know if you prefer this longer form style of video or not. This whole 24-hour style of content can be fun to make, but it can also turn me into an angry 12-year-old. Sorry you all had to see that, by the way. I had considered cutting most of that stuff out, but I think it would have been really disingenuous. Losing in a fighting game feels bad, and can make you do stupid stuff. It's part of the experience. I think it's good to leave all of that in, just to show that you can't get good at a fighting game in 24 hours. People pour thousands and thousands of hours of time into these games before they're considered pro players. You aren't gonna be Justin Wong after your first 24, and these videos are proof of that. In my opinion, the real way to win is to take it one step at a time and have as much fun as you can along the way. As a quote from my favorite book reads, "A journey will have pain and failure. It's not only the steps forward that we must accept, it is the stumbles, the trials, the knowledge that we will fail, that we will hurt those around us. But if we stop, if we accept the person we are when we fall, the journey ends. That failure becomes our destination. To love the journey is to accept no such end. I have found through painful experience that the most important step a person can take is always the next one." Well, on to the next one, everyone. Hopefully in the next one I'm not gonna be punching mic stands. What did the mic stand ever do? It's not its fault I got fucking command grabbed like 80 times.